Good evening, everyone. It's Jeanette. It's 6 p.m., so it must be talking turkey time with JD Farms. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. As you saw on the descriptor, it was wet versus dry, the tale of two turkey legs. But before we get to that story, I wanted to loop back to Friday and just talk to you about if any of you out there made the pizza. Because I did, of course, I was able to make it, and I have the leftovers. And I actually had a piece before I tuned on, and I had it cold, and it was really good. So I wanted to come back and kind of show you what it looked like, and to turn it over so you can see what the bottom looks like. So this is the crust, and turning out, and I get to eat this, so it's my hand. So you know what I said about adding the almonds to it? That helps to get the browning and to kind of set it up like a crust of a pizza. And if we kind of turn it a little bit sideways, you can see here, this is the cream cheese. So it got bubbly hot and kind of flavored our turkey crust or ground turkey crust. But when it kind of cools, it kind of goes solid again. So it helps to keep the crust together as well. So this is a nice little slice that I had one slice before. I'm probably going to have another slice after when I'm done here, because tonight's recipe is about preparing for the weekend. Oh, also with this here, I could freeze this, which I probably will because I still have another 2 pieces left over. I would just take, if you had one of those pizza freezy containers, you could use that. I just have some Glad press and lock. I would wrap each one of these up, kind of freeze it, and then just warm it up in my toaster oven. I don't necessarily would use my microwave because it would get soft, and you want to kind of keep that crust. So a little toaster oven, or you could even say dry fry it to warm it up as well. In my toppings, of course, I had that beautiful JD Farms ground turkey that we had left over from a couple of shows ago, and the lunch meat that I also get from JD Farms. So just wanted to show you kind of how it sits up. You know, if I could, there you go. It's like eating a piece of pizza. Great fun recipe. Lots of different ideas that you could use with that. And I just love it because sometimes you get friends that are gluten-free and keto and low carb, and it just satisfies a bunch of those diverse dietary needs that our friends and family have. So tonight is about number one. Oh, loop up. Yesterday I had a great day. I hope you guys have been enjoying your weekend, and our American friends that you're in the middle of your long weekend, and tomorrow's your Memorial Day, so we send you great wishes, our American friends. A lot of you guys come up on your Thanksgiving and get our turkeys, so we are so grateful to you. Went out local, did a little drive, found a new local cidery. They have been making, Taves Farms is an incredible place in Abbotsford for their apple barns. And they have fun things out there. Right now it's not open, of course, with social distancing. But in September, they launched a new cidery. So picked up some local cider, and that's what I'm all about, is making sure that we support local business. And it's really good. They've got a gooseberry right now, a red currant, a black currant, and just their Billy's favorite one. So wherever possible, support local. And this is going to go well with my pizza when I'm done. So let's get talking the tale of two turkey legs. First of all, I kept these in the bag for you so you can see how they come packed in twos. This was frozen, and now I've thawed it. But these two turkey legs are $5.80 for these two amazing, huge turkey legs. So much potential and so much meat. And I don't know about you, but on a Sunday, I tend to think about, I've got a little calendar kind of up on my pantry here, that I start thinking about what I'm going to be making for dinners or my lunches and planning it out. So on a Sunday night, I like to do some prep. And so this will help my prep, as well as when we go into some recipes this coming week, when I come back for Talking Turkey with you, I'll have some already made up turkey that we can make maybe some burritos or something different. So let's get into the tale of two turkey legs or drumsticks, wet versus dry. What I'm going to do with these two turkey legs is one is going to have a dry rub and one is going to have a wet rub. So a dry rub essentially is the spices that is rubbed right onto the skin and onto the meat, and you wrap it tightly in order for the spices to penetrate. And tonight, for both of my wet and my dry rub, I'm starting with our base of our turkey rub that we sell at JD Farms. Easy to get online when you place your order. And I love keeping this on hand in the pantry because sometimes this has got, just so you're aware of the spices in here. So this has got, sorry, I need to read English on here. Is sugar, paprika, chili powder, brown sugar, onion, garlic. Oh, there's tea in here, but don't drink it as tea. A little citric acid in here. So sometimes this is a great little spice rub or spice to go into other things. I'm going to use this as our base for both our dry and our wet rub, and I'm going to add some ingredients to it, both dry ingredients and wet ingredients, but the same flavor profiles on both. So let's get started. I'm going to do the dry rub first. And how I'm going to use the dry rub is our cast of characters, as I normally start off, is they are going to be, like I said, the same. So the dry rub, I've got lemon pepper, in my dry, some extra garlic, chili flake. I want to bump up that spiciness, and that's all that's going to be in my dry rub. And let's get started there. Oh, no, let me come back to my wet rub. My wet rub is going to start again with the spice rub. Going to use a little bit of organic lemon juice and a very little bit of that, and I'll tell you why in a later. Some pepper, mirroring that wet or that dry of the lemon pepper. I kept from the tomatoes, remember we used that yellow tomato, and then I had that taco seasoning that came with that package, that box that I deconstructed the other day. So that's in here. I'm just going to use a little bit of this. I don't waste anything, so that's just mixed up, and that'll help my wet rub. And some, because of the chili flake, I'm going to bump up the spiciness with some Louisiana hot sauce. Okay, so I'm going to use a tablespoon because I have one leg. And my bowl got wet, and I don't want a wet bowl. What I find, like tonight, I'm going to marinate, or not marinate, I guess. Like they're going to sit in the rub. Actually, I want to take a look at that leg. It's a pretty big leg. I'm going to go 2 tablespoons of that. It's going to sit, and the dry rub, we're going to cook them both at the same time. And I want tomorrow night, when I come back on to show you the cooked meat, the texture of when you have a dry rub, slow roasted, and you have a wet rub, roasted at the same time. Just how the meat turns out a little bit differently, and it's quite fascinating. Okay, so that's there. Let's do of my extra granulated garlic, about a teaspoon of that, because remember there's already garlic in the dry rub. Oh, and I forgot I've got fresh garlic to go into my wet rub. And in my lemon pepper, about a teaspoon of that as well. Anybody have any questions out there? Did somebody happen to make the pizza? I'd love to know how that went. Or did you make the egg boats from this past week? Oh, whew, spicy. So there we go. So now what I'm going to do with my turkey leg is how I like to prep it to receive those spices. One of 2 things. I will use a fork or I will use a skewer. And I just want to go along and poke the skin. And poke the skin and come down. And what that's going to do is essentially the salts and spices are going to get into that layer of the turkey underneath the spices. The dry rub, after I get it on, I'm going to wrap it up nice and tightly. Okay, so that's good. I've poked the skin quite well because I want those spices to penetrate that skin. Okay. So I'm going to wash my hands. I'll be right back. So I want to prep my plastic. as I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, I brought this out. I have this on the side of my stove. When you go to our store, make sure you get one of our turkey roasting guides, because this is how I'm going to use this. Because in here it says 1 to 10 pounds, unstuff is 2 to 3 hours. So I'm going to weigh, these turkey legs were, let's just see, well they were, I'll weigh them, and this is going to help me in my roasting guide. So that's why I wanted to show you. It's a handy little magnet to go on the side of your fridge or on the front of your dishwasher. That's where I'm going to stick mine for right now. So I've got my plastic wrap. I like this press and seal because I can get it nice and tight. I'm going to turn it over. Okay, I'm going to bring this down a little bit so you guys can see my camera. I'm going to get that turkey leg on top. Remove the skewer. And the whole thing about a rub is really rubbing it into the meat. Kind of giving the turkey leg a little bit of a massage. So we want to rub that in. I'm going to turn that turkey leg. Get that spices up and down. Really get the spice mixture in. I've got a friend, and he's a big supporter of JD Farms, Kevin Legg, and boy, he knows how to barbecue. He would put this, once it's done, on a very slow roasting on his barbecue, and it would just slow roast and get absolutely delicious. I had the pleasure last year at JD Farms summer party that he cooked some amazing food for us. So, okay, let's get that all turned around and in there. Okay, just gonna go wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay. Now here, I want to get this plastic wrap up and very tightly seal this dry rub into that turkey. And the closer and the tighter that you can get it, that is the best. Okay, so we've wrapped it up nice and tight, and this is going to sit overnight until, I'm probably going to put this on about 4 o'clock. And I'll use that roasting guide to find out how long I'm going to roast that based upon the weight of this. To me, it feels like it weighs about a ½ pound. So but I'm going to do it nice and slow. Okay, let's wrap that up and get that nice and tight. Okay, so that's our dry rub. So now let's get going on our wet rub. Rinse my bowl. So my wet rub. Again, let's start with 2 tablespoons. So let's see what I did with my tablespoon. Oh, there it is. Oops. 2 tablespoons of the turkey seasoning, the turkey rub that you get at JD Farms. Now I'm going to take a crushed fresh garlic, because this is all about wet ingredients now. And of course, when I love to do an easy way to peel garlic, just take your knife and smack it. Pops the skin off, cut off the end because I don't want that in there. I could have left it in there because you know what? It's a wet marinade and I'm not going to eat the garlic. I just want it for flavor. Want to cut that garlic up pretty small because I want that garlic flavor to go through everything. Oops, got a piece of skin. Okay, that's going in there. So give it a little bit more wetness, that taco seasoning and tomato. About a teaspoon, not much. When you have a wet rub that is acidic, the acid can kind of cook the turkey meat. We don't want that, and that can go mushy. So we don't want a lot of acidity. So when you see the lemon juice that I'm going to put in, you know what? Normally I open the bottles before I do my demos. Got a little shot glass, and I'm just in my shot glass. I've got it 1 ounce. This is about 1/4 of an ounce, not much. Anything more than that, and like I said, the meat will start to go a little mushy, and that's not good. Okay, how hot do we want it? How many shots? Oh, I want it pretty hot. So I'm gonna go at least about 3 tablespoons of the Louisiana hot sauce. Now, this is what you need in a dry rub to kind of bring out and keep those spices clinging to your meat is some oil. And then when I go to roast this, and it's now, my head is being chopped off there. When I go to roast this, this is going to kind of almost seal in the meat and seal in the juices. So I'm going to guess this rub is going to make the turkey very luscious and juicy, where the dry rub is going to keep the meat very flavorful and dense. Just saying. Okay. Oh, and because we had the lemon pepper, we got to, of course, marry the flavor of lots and lots of pepper in there. I love pepper. Okay. So there we go. We got our beautiful wet rub. Nice big flavors in there. And now I'm going to, put that over there. And you know what? I'm going to put my wet rub in this plastic bag with my turkey leg and do it nice and tight. It's just a shopping bag. Little word to the wise, put some water in it, see if it's leaking. I did that. It doesn't do that. So that's great. Okay. So let's do the same thing with our turkey leg. Put it down there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to poke the skin so that wet rub can get in there. But I don't want to poke it too much because I don't want to have the, when it's baking, all this wet rub come out of it. Okay, so that's good. Wash my hands again. Let's get that wet rub in there. A little spatula from my pantry. And that's going in. Get all that good stuff in there. Take out all the air as much as possible and tie my bag up. If you had a Ziploc bag, I don't happen to have a Ziploc bag, or if you had a marinator, you could use a marinator. But there we go. So now we've got our wet rub. So basically they kind of look the same, but what's going to happen to the meat is going to be very different. So there you have it. The tail of two turkey legs. One with our incredible JD Farms base. Both have the base of our JD Farms spice rub with extra dry spices added to it. The garlic, the lemon pepper, and some chili flake. And then the wet, again, same, starting with that turkey dry rub, little extra hot sauce, that fresh garlic, more pepper, tiny bit of tomato just to give it a little bit more liquid, tiny bit of lemon juice, and our avocado. And you know what? I don't know, did I add those in there? You know what, while you're gone, I might go back and add some extra chili flake in this because I can't remember. So, brand ambassador Jeanette Martin, Tale of Two Turkey Legs. Stay tuned tomorrow because I'm going to come back at 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to roast these off. They're going to stay in my fridge for, what's our time now? Oh, 6:19. So until 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'll take them out. The wet one, I'll probably give it a bit of a turn every once in a while. Roast them off. And then you'll see tomorrow night how this story continues. Enjoy your night, everyone, from my home in South Langley, supporting local. Jeanette Martin. Oh, my apron is kind of askew because I get excited. God bless from my home, from the JD Farms home and their homes and JD Farms and everybody that works there. They work so hard. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that our patio and our bistro is now opening with 50% seating. We're doing social distancing and it's pretty exciting. We've got a great patio. So if you live anywhere in the lower mainland of Vancouver and you want to come out and have a bit of a day trip and have a great sandwich and shop our store, it is so worth it to come out because the girls would love to see you inside the store. And they give you a magnet as well. So have a great evening, and thank you so much for tuning in and watching my demos tonight. I certainly appreciate it. Enjoy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.